child in the way he should go. When they are older, they will not leave it, or they will not go away from it. In front of you here, we have 4 families. I'm waiting for one to come. We initially had 6 families, and 2 of them could not make it today. However, God will still do his work, and we will have God's wisdom through our panel members here, and as well as from you people in the audience. Just so we have order for children, once they're done eating, just to occupy them, we have some toys over there and some coloring and stuff that's happening right there in the corner. You can sit close to your child, or Georgia and Scarlett will just monitor them while they're playing there, so they'll be occupied. I would like to introduce our panelists. However, I just want them to introduce themselves, and each one of them will share their experience raising their children or their grandchildren or other children that they fostered. And also, in a sentence, they would tell us what parenting was for them. So they have mics in front of them, and we'll start with the Dequaires and then move to the Busires and then move to Daums and then Miss Sang over here. Introduce yourself, who you've raised, and how you describe parenting in one sentence. It works.
Okay, I am Vincent. Okay. I am Vincent Dequaire. This is my wife, Gloria Dequaire. We have our very own. We've raised one, Reina. She's 4. So we've helped with our siblings here and there, but for the most part, we have one. Parenting in one sentence. We try to. We believe so much in imitating. The best way, we model a life or behavior that Reina can follow. That's what we think works best for us. So like imitators, of good, because it's the same way we also, got it from our parents too. So
okay. Thank you.
That's the.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Colleen Busire. My husband was to be here, but he woke up not feeling so good. So I said I must come. I've raised 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy. They are all adults and working. I've got 4 grandchildren. And what I can say, parenting is not easy. It's a challenge. And we need to have patience. That's all what I can say.
Okay, thank you. There's a mic here, so, okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Linda Daum, and I have raised 4 children, and I have 4 grandchildren. And it's wonderful because this last one I have here with David and Rebecca is the only one I've been near since, I just wasn't near them, so I didn't get to be a part of their life with my grandchildren. So I'm just thankful I have that opportunity to be close to this one, and that's wonderful.
Amen.
And it is a challenge, and every child is different. And don't think because you have one that they're all going to be the same, because they are not going to be the same. And it's hard, but this is what I felt like parenting has done for me. Parenting children has shown me my need of God's wisdom and my utter helplessness without Him.
Amen.
Because I'll tell you, you really need the Lord with raising children.
Amen.
Okay, so I'm Andrew. I belong to Linda. And yes, we have 4 adult children. We have 2 girls and 2 boys, and one of them is David here. And I have my self-analysis of raising children comes from the Bible. It comes from Isaiah 42:16, and I'll paraphrase it. And I'm going to tell you what it is, but it's not intended to be funny, okay? The verse basically says that he leads the blind by a way they know not. And that's what my journey has been as a parent. I've read some books, not as much as I should, but the Lord has led and intervened to help us. It says that he's a very present help in trouble. And being a parent, we were in trouble often, trying to know what to do and how to manage life with the children. And I think that's enough for now.
Thank you.
And my name is Florence Sang, and I have raised 3 children and many nephews and nieces back home. And what I would say about parenting is, it is a challenge, but it's also a calling and a mission. It's your the first mission, reaching out to the hearts of men, is your own children first. So that's what I can say for now.
Amen. Thank you so much. So we'll go right into the questions. In front of you, there are lists of questions that we have come up with, and I want you guys to look at them because they would answer as God has led them, but also the audience, if you have something to say, I will give you a chance so that we all discuss. This is a discussion. It's not a lecture. We're all contributing to this some way, somehow. We have raised children, or if have not, we've read books. So it's just sharing information, basically. So the first question, and this is one of many because it's very deep and it's a lot to discuss. We cannot consume this in an hour and a half or so. So there will be many others coming up, so this is just the beginning. So our first question, it says, what are some effective strategies for maintaining a healthy work-life balance while raising children? Now, I am sure for those who have done it and have grandchildren, you've done it. Now you're dealing with your grandchildren. So from our panel here, how have you managed the work-life balance? And I would give you a scenario where you're tired and exhausted. You've done 8 hours of work, or 16 or 12, whatever it is, and you have to come and have the patience and the love and grace of Jesus to deal with your whining child or disobedient child and be godly in doing so. It's a challenge to me. And so just to bring it to our panel, how do you deal with it, or how have you dealt with it? And if it's still a challenge to you, so, you get my question. If there's anyone in the audience, you can put your hands up, but I'll throw it to anyone who can start.
What I can say is the days I try to spend time with the Lord in the morning, somehow that day is much easier than the days that I wake up late and I don't do that. And besides just studying the Bible and praying in the morning, I find that it's a peaceful time to just reflect and be in my thoughts and by myself before my child wakes up. That day I'll have strength to deal with the tantrums or whatever else that may come in a much calmer. And when I'm raising her, when I'm calmer and my mind is clearer, then I'm able to raise her the way I want to.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else from the audience or the panel?
some of the things, some of us is different, especially when it comes with culture. The strategy for work balance, especially, I can talk the way I raise up my children in Africa is different than the way I raise my granddaughter here. It's so different. And I can tell you, like in Africa, I can say we have time, we have plenty of time. We have helpers who are affordable, who take care of the children, and then sometimes you plan in such a way, maybe you come back in the afternoon and be able to be with your children. And you can have time even for morning prayer, you have time for evening prayer. But when we come in this country, it's rather difficult, especially for me. I have my granddaughter sometimes, by the time I reach home, she's already asleep. And the morning she wakes up, by 6 she's up. I don't have enough time with her, and even have worship with her. It's really a challenge, but sometimes when I have time, when I can be with her. But I've realized this challenge in raising up children here to balance your time with the child. Maybe weekends I can say I have time with her, but in most cases it's rather hard for me.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else who has some pointers on how to deal with that? Thank you.
So for us, we definitely had a home that was in the minority where only one parent worked. So my wife was with the children, and I did that deliberately, not because I'm not sure why I did it. I was just led by a way I know not. I just wanted my wife to stay home with the children, and she was happy to do that. So we just had one income, and then the Lord led me to be self-employed. And so I was home most of the time with my wife and children. And so the work-life balance, it wasn't a separation. It was a continuum. So I was around when the children had questions or had needs, and my wife was there, and we just lived life with our children 24/7. Which is, I know, an oddity in the world today, at least in the first world countries. So that's how there wasn't a big separation between work and life. We included the children in our life as we worked. And part of the thing was that the counsel was to live in the country. So we lived on the edge of town or in the country, wherever we lived, and we moved quite a few times. And being self-employed and being in the country and having the children home meant that we just lived life together.
Mr. DeQuare.
I just wanted to support what he says, now, because as a young family, we are doing the same thing. Yes, we do construction and landscaping, something similar to what he was doing too. And same thing for us. That's the hardest part, trying to figure out, surviving on one income, and one parent just has to be willing to stay, because there are weeks for sure, especially wherever, if it's landscaping season or, and I'm doing projects where I'll really be gone from 9 and I come back 9 p.m. But then I try maybe sometimes, like there's a week that I'll just take off and I'll just be available that entire week and we can do things together. But for the most part, like for us, what has worked for us is just one person works, and again, the blessing of, being self-employed, then at least I can control that. I can find the balance, the schedule with it. And we live in the city, so at least for us, the commute is not too much, but then that's where we have, like business here and there. But I'm just saying, like we are imitating also the model that they took. That's what it's working for us also as younger parents, despite, the generation gap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I hear from Ms. Sang? How did you do it?
Yes, as I hear everyone talking about how hard it has been for them, I just want to let you know too that it doesn't been easy for me, especially when I came from Africa. I came with all my children. So the oldest was 11, and then 7.